Hello, welcome. How's everyone doing today? I'm Brandon Blitz. I'm a Friday streamer. I stream lots of big games, chats to me, as well as I draw art. And hopefully to be doing 3D modeling for everyone here. And welcome everyone. Hopefully everyone's doing good. Yes, you are first. Indeed, you are first. But yeah. Welcome. Ew. You want to do... Alright. Okay, so I technically also do need mob. Okay, so how do I put... Oh, I think I have an idea real quick. One to use reference will also have like some sort of this table. Alright, so we do have another art challenge with us today. And what I'm gonna be doing is basically here. Okay. Alright, there we go. If I don't respond, I fell asleep. Yeah, that's okay. That's okay. I've had chatters fall asleep to my stream, so okay. Stabilizer 9. I want to put it at 9. Stabilizer 9. Erasing. Alright. Let me put on my art sleeve real quick. There we go. Alright. And let's say gonna be new. Yep. Alright, there we go. I think this is good. That's good. Hopefully everyone's doing good today. Recently, this real quick. Alright. There we go. Alright, there we go. Alright, so our next art challenge I want to do is basically add source from window capture. Capture window. Okay, there we go. I want to be here, but not so big. You can't even see it. Never mind. Yeah, never mind about that. You can't even see it. Alright, Alright. Now let me start the video real quick. Alright.
We will be looking at two horrifying caving stories that went horribly wrong. However, this time both stories take place in the same cave in the same year and went horribly wrong for the same exact reason. Only the second incident was far worse than the first. As always, viewer discretion is advised. In early June 1988, a caving team made a discovery in Hicks Cave, Kentucky, that should have served as a...
So our character's gonna be like a dark wizard doing spelling stuff, like spells and stuff like that. It's gonna the hair's gonna be lavender. And the eye color is gonna be plum. You know what would be more interesting? Okay, iPhone. Ooh, okay. I see where this is going. This is actually good. This is actually gonna be good color scheme. Alright.
Warning to everyone. What they found in a previously flooded pit would become a curious attraction for teams throughout that summer. But this was more than just an interesting geological curiosity. It was a death trap waiting to claim victims, and by October of that same year, it would showcase its true colors. Hicks Cave is part of the Hidden River Complex in Kentucky, an extensive 20-mile-long system of essentially horizontal passages that extends into the Sinkhole Plain south of the Green River, upstream from Mammoth Cave National Park. Unlike the vertical caves that require rope work and technical climbing, Hicks Cave is primarily walking and crawling passages that wind for miles through the limestone bedrock. The J-Survey section of Hicks Cave is located far from the Green River entrances, deep within the system where survey teams have been methodically mapping passages for over a decade. This area featured a stream that normally rose around Station J, 278, and flowed along the passage before dumping into what caving experts called a slump pit at Station J, 247, an 8-by-7-foot depression in the mud floor of the cave. From 1976 through 1987, approximately 15 different survey parties had passed by this slump pit during their mapping expeditions. Every single one of them had observed the same thing, a pool of water at least 2 feet deep at the bottom of the pit, with no apparent continuation beyond. The water-filled pit seemed to be nothing more than a low spot where the stream collected before presumably draining slowly through cracks in the bedrock. There was no reason to investigate further, and certainly no reason to climb down into standing water in a mud-floor depression. But the spring of 1988 brought unusual weather conditions to Kentucky. A drought that began in the spring and continued through the summer produced dramatically low water levels in all the caves throughout the region. Streams that normally flowed year-round were reduced to trickles or dried up completely. Pools that had been permanent features for decades suddenly exposed bedrock that hadn't been seen in living memory. On Memorial
so I don't know how to get rid of
1988,
steams.
a survey party passed by Station J, 247, and noticed something remarkable. The slump pit that had contained a 2-foot deep pool for as long as anyone could remember was completely dry. The drought had lowered the water table enough that the pit had drained, exposing the mud floor and whatever features might lie beneath the former pool. This discovery was exciting for survey-minded spelunkers. A previously water-filled feature was now accessible, and there was the tantalizing possibility of finding a new passage beyond what had appeared to be a terminal sump. If there was a continuation beneath where the water had been, it could potentially lead to significant new discoveries in the Hidden River Complex. In early June, 𝙂𝙀 organized and led a team specifically to investigate the newly accessible J247 slump pit. The goal was to determine if there was any passage continuation that had been hidden beneath the water for the past 12 years or more. Odell and his team made their way through the Hicks Cave passages to Station J, 247, probably excited about the prospect of pushing a new cave. When they reached the slump pit, Odell examined the climb down into the depression. He found it to be relatively easy. The 8-by-7-foot pit wasn't particularly deep or technical, just a matter of carefully lowering yourself down into the mud-floored depression. At the bottom, beneath an overhanging section of flowstone, Odell could see what looked like a promising lead, a passage approximately 3 feet high by 1 to 2 feet wide. This was definitely worth investigating. Odell descended into the slump pit to get a closer look at the potential continuation. He reached the bottom of the pit and began examining the low passage beneath the flowstone overhang. But within seconds of reaching the bottom, something went terribly wrong. Odell was using a carbide lamp as his source of light.
Alright.
Carbide lamps produce a steady white flame that
Older one's
provides
gonna
excellent
be
light for caving. But suddenly, Odell's lamp flame changed dramatically. The normal white flame turned bright yellow and extended to an abnormal length of 6 to 8
sketch
inches.
stuff.
Even more strangely,
Older
the
2
base
is
of the
gonna
flame
be
was positioned about 2 inches away from the lamp's orifice, rather than directly at the gas outlet. This bizarre flame behavior was an immediate warning sign that something was wrong with the atmosphere in the pit. Before Odell could fully process what he was seeing, he began experiencing physical symptoms. In less than a minute,
last
he
one's
became
gonna be
dizzy. His breathing felt labored and insufficient, as if he couldn't get enough air into his lungs despite breathing
line
normally.
art.
His coordination deteriorated rapidly, and he found himself bouncing off the passage walls as he tried to move. Odell's experience and training kicked in despite his impaired state. He recognized that he was in bad air, an atmosphere with insufficient oxygen or excessive carbon dioxide or other gases. He knew that he needed to get out of the pit immediately before the symptoms progressed to unconsciousness or worse. Odell quickly climbed back up out of the slump pit to the J survey passage level, where the air quality was normal. His companions helped him as he emerged from the pit, probably concerned by his obvious distress and disorientation. Odell sat in the better air and focused on breathing deeply, allowing his body to recover from the brief exposure to the bad atmosphere. After several minutes of breathing normal air, Odell's symptoms subsided. His breathing returned to normal, the dizziness faded, and his coordination improved. He had been fortunate to recognize the danger quickly and extract himself before suffering more severe effects from the bad air. To confirm and demonstrate what Odell had experienced, one of his companions conducted a simple test. He placed a candle on the floor of the slump pit and watched what happened. The flame was extinguished in just 15 seconds, dramatic proof that the atmosphere at the bottom of the pit was incapable of supporting combustion and therefore incapable of supporting human life for any extended period. Following this incident, Tom Allers compiled a detailed accident report documenting Odell's experience. The report prompted research into what exactly was happening in the J247 slump pit. Odell and others conducted library research and consulted with State of Kentucky mining experts and water specialists to understand the atmospheric conditions they had encountered. The conclusion was that the air in the slump pit was high in carbon dioxide and dangerously low in oxygen. The depression was essentially acting as a trap for heavy gases, particularly carbon dioxide, which is denser than normal air and tends to collect in low-lying areas with poor circulation. The drought conditions that had drained the water from the pit had also exposed this atmospheric hazard that had been masked by the standing water for over a decade. Throughout the summer of 1988, the J247 slump pit became something of an attraction for survey parties working in that section of Hicks Cave. Teams would stop at Station J247 specifically to demonstrate the bad air phenomenon. It became an educational stop on survey trips. But what was treated as an interesting curiosity and teaching opportunity during the summer would become the site of nightmare in October. The bad air that had been demonstrated safely from the rim of the pit would reveal its true self. The warning signs were clear, the danger was known and documented, but the J247 slump pit wasn't finished claiming attention from the caving community. On October 8th, 1988, 4 caving experts descended into Hicks Cave in Kentucky.
We need to
4 months had passed since Phil Odell's discovery of the bad air at Station J247 in Hicks Cave. Throughout the summer of 1988, that slump pit had become a curiosity, a teaching opportunity where survey teams would stop to demonstrate the atmospheric hazards that could exist in cave systems. But summer had turned to fall, and the drought that had drained the pit and exposed the bad air continued. By October, the atmospheric conditions in that section of Hicks Cave had changed in ways that nobody understood or anticipated. At around noon on Saturday, October 8th, the team of 4 gathered at the WAR entrance to Hicks Cave, several miles south of where the cave's underground rivers resurge into the Green River. The group consisted of Tom Allers, who was 40 years old, and was the one who compiled Odell's accident report in the Hicks Cave system. He was along 𝙂𝙗𝙗, 41, who was equally experienced in exploring and surveying this 20-mile-long maze. With them were Larry Peterson, 40, and Barbara Graham, who at 22 was the youngest member of the group. The war entrance required descending an 85-foot, 26-meter
I'm still
vertical
trying
drop
to make
reach
sure.
the horizontal passages below. The 4 rigged their ropes and descended one by one, leaving their vertical gear at the bottom of the entrance pit. They wouldn't need the rope equipment for the rest of the trip, since Hicks Cave was primarily horizontal walking and crawling passages. The entrance was blowing outward as it typically did in cool weather, creating a chimney effect with the lower entrances on the Green River about 150 feet below. The group had a specific mission for this trip. They planned to collect samples of black material from 2 locations in the cave, one at Station O24 and another from the stream bed that connected stations J278 and J247. These samples would be analyzed to determine if the stream at O24 was related to the stream in the J survey section, which would help map the underground hydrology of the Hidden River complex. The 4 spelunkers made their way through the passages toward their first collection site at O24. They collected their samples there and then proceeded approximately 2,000 feet further into the cave toward the J survey section. This route required navigating the climb down of the 40-foot-high J280 dome, a significant vertical obstacle in an otherwise horizontal cave system. They descended carefully and continued toward their second collection site near Station J247.
Welcome, how you doing today?
Station J247 was, of
Hopefully you're
course,
doing
the
well.
location of the slump pit.
We're beginning
where Phil Odell
our
had encountered bad air back in June.
fifth
The pit that had contained
art
a
challenge.
2-foot-deep pool
So
from
basically what we're doing is
1976 through
basically
1987
just a
was still
simple,
dry
like a
from the
wizard
ongoing
themed,
drought. The lake
wizard
beneath
themed
the
character.
flowstone overhang at the bottom of the pit remained unexplored, though it was reportedly one of the last potential connections to Hidden River Cave further upstream. Hidden River Cave had an infamous reputation in the Kentucky caving community. It was heavily polluted, contaminated by sewage and industrial waste from the town of Horse Cave City. The cave's atmosphere was often described as vile, and the stream that flowed through it carried pollution that eventually discharged into springs in the Green River. There was speculation that the underground water systems were connected, and apparently the lead at the bottom of the J247 slump pit smelled similar to Hidden River Cave. As the 4 approached Station J247, they stopped approximately 5 to 10 feet short of the slump pit to prepare their sample collection equipment. This positioning was deliberate and cautious, given the known bad air hazard in the pit. They began removing their packs and organizing their gear for the sampling work. Peterson removed his helmet with its attached carbide lamp and set down his pack. Graham also removed her pack. Hopper set aside his ammo box camera case and took off his pack as well. 𝙂𝙗𝙗 removed his right glove. As they were organizing their equipment, someone noticed a smell in the passage, a subtle odor that wasn't petroleum-based and wasn't the distinctive smell of ethyl mercaptan that's added to natural gas. It was described as somewhat like extra strong mold, an unusual scent that none of them could quite identify. Hopper and Allers were positioned nearest to the slump pit, with Peterson and Graham standing about 4 to 5 feet further back up the passage.
Can you
The
do this
group was ready to
properly?
collect their water sample from the stream that flowed past the pit. 𝙂𝙗𝙗 moved toward the slump pit, carrying a sample bottle.
If I
His carbide
can
lamp was
kind
burning normally, producing the steady white flame. He approached cautiously, aware of the bad air hazard that had been documented 4 months earlier. When he was approximately 2 to 3 feet from the rim of the pit, something extraordinary and terrifying happened. A bright blue fireball suddenly appeared near the ceiling of the passage, directly in front of Hopper's carbide lamp. The fireball was about 2 feet in diameter, hovering in the air like some kind of supernatural phenomenon. Hopper's immediate reaction was confusion. He thought his carbide lamp base had somehow split open or malfunctioned. But 2 seconds later, before anyone could process what they were seeing or react to the fireball, the entire area over the slump pit exploded with a tremendous whoosh. The explosion was instantaneous and overwhelming, filling the passage with flames that seemed to materialize from the very air itself. Tom Allers suddenly found himself surrounded by wisps of blue flame dancing in the air around him. Both Allers and Hopper dove backward instinctively, hitting the cave floor hard as the explosion erupted. The blue light from the flames became the sole source of illumination in the passage. All 4 carbide lamps had been blown out by the force of the explosion. Barbara Graham and Larry Peterson, standing 4 to 5 feet back from Hopper and Allers, were outside the immediate blast zone of flames, but were so alarmed by what they were witnessing that their survival instincts took over immediately. Without conscious thought, both of them turned and began crawling frantically back up the passage, desperate to put distance between themselves and the inferno that had erupted at the slump pit. Hopper and Allers were engulfed in the flames. They had no idea where to go. The fire kept burning, refusing to die down. It felt like standing in front of a dragon's mouth, a non-stop flamethrower pouring heat at them. Relying only on muscle memory, Hopper and Allers started moving away from the pit blindly. They reached a point where they could finally see each other, but the heat was so extreme that it could take their lives at any moment. They had to act, and they had to act now. Both men realized they were now beneath the flames, pressed against the cave floor where they could still breathe relatively good air. The fire was above them, feeding on gases that were lighter than air or mixed with the normal atmosphere at ceiling height. But they couldn't stay where they were. The passage was being filled with the rumble of fire. They had to crawl for their lives. Hopper and Allers began crawling back up the passage, keeping their noses pressed to the cave floor where the air was still breathable. They crawled beneath a ceiling of flames and heat, moving as fast as they could while staying low enough to avoid the worst of the fire above them. The first 40 feet of their escape was accomplished in this terrifying position, crawling on their bellies with blue flames dancing overhead. Imagine, 40 feet, more than 12 meters. Larry Peterson looked back from where he and Graham had retreated and saw an image that would be burned into his memory forever. 2 silhouettes crawling through a wall of flame, their forms barely visible through the fire and heat. He felt a blast of intense heat wash over him, even from where he was positioned, and he continued moving away from the inferno. After crawling 40 to 50 feet from the slump pit, Hopper and Allers paused and looked back at what they had escaped from. The flames weren't following them up the passage, but back at J247, the scene was apocalyptic. The slump pit looked like a giant sterno can, with flames burning wall to wall in the wide passage. A wall of solid blue flame started just a few inches above the top of the slump pit and extended upward, filling the passage. The rumble of the burning gases created a deep, steady roar that echoed through the cave. Hopper had burns but was able to continue, and Allers noticed that his right hand took a brunt from the explosion. Their 2 companions had already moved out of sight further up the passage, so Hopper and Allers shared Allers' flashlight, the only functioning light they had between them, and continued heading toward the cave entrance. Peterson and Graham had stopped at a point where the passage gained enough height for walking, rather than crawling. When Hopper and Allers caught up with them, the group took stock of their situation. Allers was the only one who still had his pack, which contained extra carbide fuel and 2 spare flashlights plus an extra carbide lamp. They managed to relight 2 of the carbide lamps that had been blown out by the explosion, giving them adequate light to continue their exit. But much of their equipment had been left behind at the slump pit. At packs, the camera, samples they had collected, various pieces of gear that had been set aside when they were preparing to collect water samples. Nobody wanted to go back to retrieve the abandoned equipment. The slump pit was still burning, filling that section of passage with flames and heat, and none of them had any desire to return to that inferno. They made the decision to abandon the gear and focus on getting out of the cave safely. The The group began their exit, retracing the route they had taken into the cave. They climbed back up the 40-foot 𝙂𝙚𝙬𝙤 navigated through the 2,000 feet of passage back toward the O24 area, and eventually reached the bottom of the 85-foot entrance pit. They rigged their rope and ascended one by one back to the surface, emerging from the WAR entrance at approximately 4:30 p.m., 4.5 hours after they had entered the cave that morning. Once on the surface, they examined their injuries. Duke Hopper had burns on his face where the intense heat had affected his exposed skin. Tom Allers discovered that the hair on his right hand had been burned off, and the pain was intense. Both men had been wearing cotton coveralls that had become damp during their time in the cave, and this dampness had actually protected them to some degree. Cotton, especially when damp, is relatively less flammable than synthetic materials, and this probably saved them from more serious burns. The question that haunted all of them as they examined what had happened was, what had exploded? Tom Allers began researching possible explanations for the fireball and subsequent passage fire. One theory was that flammable gases had been driven into Hicks Cave from Hidden River Cave. The previous weekend, the area had received 3 to 4 inches of rain, a significant amount that would have raised water levels throughout the connected cave systems. If Hidden River Cave's contaminated water contained dissolved gases or vapors from the pollution that plagued that system, those gases could have been forced through underground connections into Hicks Cave, accumulating in the low-lying slump pit where there was insufficient air circulation to disperse them. Another possibility was that one of the natural gas or oil wells in the area was leaking. Kentucky has numerous oil and gas wells, and if one near the cave had developed a leak, methane or other petroleum gases could have migrated through the bedrock into the cave passages, particularly accumulating in areas like the J247 slump pit, where there was minimal air movement. What made this incident particularly alarming was the complete lack of warning before the explosion. In June, when Phil Odell had descended into the pit, his carbide lamp had shown clear signs of bad air. The flame had turned yellow and extended abnormally. But in October, when Hopper approached the pit with his lamp, the flame appeared normal right up until the moment the fireball appeared. There had been only that subtle, unusual smell that nobody could identify. No visual warning from the lamp flame, no other indication that explosive gases were present in high enough concentrations to ignite. The four were also extraordinarily lucky that neither Allers nor Hopper had breathed any of the burning vapors during their escape. The fact that they had stayed low, keeping their faces near the floor where the air was cooler and less contaminated with combustion products, had probably saved their lives. As Tom Allers noted in his accident report, good luck is sometimes the most beneficial factor of all. The four spelunkers had been fortunate in numerous ways. They weren't in the pit when the gases ignited. They were positioned to retreat quickly. They stayed low beneath the flames where air was breathable. They had functioning lights to navigate their exit, and nobody sustained injuries serious enough to impair their ability to escape.
Oh, okay. Alright. Alright.
This one terrible interview ruined David Baszucki's career forever, and it's not for the reason you'd expect. But if you didn't already know,
Oh, it is for the reason I expect.
CEO of multi-billion-dollar gaming company Roblox, and recently has found himself in a lot of controversy. I've already covered how he got banned from his own platform, may even be on the Epstein list, and much more. However, what if I told you one interview completely destroyed any public image or respect he had? But before we get into the one interview that completely destroyed his public image, the one that ended his career overnight, go ahead and subscribe to the channel right now to help me hit 100,000 subscribers. Subscribe right this second and we will hit 100k today. So on the 21st of November 2025, Kevin Roos, Casey Newton, and Rachel Cohn published an interview with David Baszucki, and I'm going to read the transcript out out to you guys, because in this interview, David 𝙂𝙖 says some stuff that completely destroyed his public image and ruined his career forever. This might even be the end of Roblox. And the article interview transcript begins, "This summer, the gaming platform Roblox hit a new milestone. More than 25 million players at the same time played 𝙂𝙀 𝘼𝙚𝙀, one of the hit games on the site." And honestly, I don't even know how this is the case. 𝙂𝙀 𝘼𝙚𝙀 is one of the most unoriginal garbage games on the platform. I think it goes without saying, this game won the Innovation Award, like the Creative Innovation Award. I don't know how it won that award, considering the amount of controversy it's been in for being so unoriginal and garbage. Like, it goes without saying, it's one of the trashiest games on the entire platform. It's crazy that it's held the most players. Like, dude, 25 million concurrent players on 𝙂𝙀 𝘼𝙚𝙀. And keep in mind, this game was involved in so much controversy because there was literally racist brain rots in this game, and there was the whole game was supposedly stolen from another one, allegedly. It's a whole mess. But the interview/article continues, though the company has been around for nearly 20 years, its popularity has exploded among children since the COVID-19 pandemic. Today, Roblox has more than 150 million active daily users and functions as one of the top primary online gathering places for preteens, unlike Instagram, TikTok, and Discord, which require users to be at least 13 years old to make an account. Roblox allows users as young as 5 years old to join. And this is a huge problem because, as we'll get into later, there is a huge child safety issue on the platform. They are not keeping the kids on this platform safe at all. There is so many PDF files running around on this platform causing problems. And as the video goes on, it'll become apparent just how little David 𝙂𝙖 actually cares about this. Because when we get into what he said in the interview, you'll realize that this guy does not give a shit about the problem, the PDF file problem. He doesn't care that the kids are getting groomed. He just wants to make as much money as possible. But it continues, but precisely because Roblox is so popular with children, it has also attracted the attention of adults. 3 states, Louisiana, Kentucky, and Texas, have filed lawsuits against Roblox over child safety issues. And more than 20 lawsuits accusing Roblox of enabling S3 sexual exploitation have been filed in federal court this year. And this gives you a true idea of the scale of this whole operation. Like, there's been so many US states and people suing the company, and even popular Schlep has his own case against the platform that is getting resolved right now because Roblox even tried to sue him. They sent him a cease and desist letter because he made viral PDF hunting videos on the platform. He hunted these adult PDF files who were preying on children, and Roblox sent him a cease and desist and claimed that he was endangering children. I don't know about that one, Roblox. David 𝙂𝙖, could you answer? Why'd you do that? Why'd you do that? I don't know. I don't think he's gonna answer. And as we'll get into in this interview, he will dance around the point and never answer the question. All he wants to do is implement AI softwares, and it's so garbage. Just wait. Roblox, for its part, continues to ship new safety features, including a new facial age estimation technology that the company announced this week. But the question remains, are these safeguards enough? And in my personal opinion, they're not enough. They do literally nothing, and Roblox is just using this as a smokescreen to do absolutely nothing about the very serious problems that exist on their platform. I mean, dude, what is actually going on with Roblox right now? Why is Roblox acting the way that it is? Are they actually gonna care at all? They don't even give a crap. Let's be real. Between me and you, between Webby and the viewer, we know Roblox doesn't give a shit about any of this, and it's just a shit show waiting to happen. The downfall of Roblox has been going on for months now. We're just waiting for the camel that breaks the straw's back. And maybe this interview will be the end of the company and the CEO, David 𝙂𝙖, who's also the founder, aka 𝙂𝙚𝙣𝙚. Maybe this will be the end of him and the company. Who knows? To talk about the company's approach to safety, we spoke with Roblox's co-founder and chief executive, David 𝙂𝙖. Here's our conversation, lightly edited for clarity and length. And boy oh boy was what he said in this interview interesting. No, it wasn't just interesting, it was comically bad. And it's even worse than you'd imagine. Like, if you thought it was kind of bad, it is like 100 times that. It is so horrible that you wouldn't even expect David 𝙂𝙖 to say this. And that's saying a lot, because he's said a lot of crazy stuff. He's tried to introduce a dating feature for 17 plus users. Yes, a dating feature with minors. He tried to do that, and this is even worse than that. Casey Newton stated, David 𝙂𝙖, welcome to Hard Fork. Dave stated, it's great to be here, thank you. And then Newton stated, we have joined us today to talk about the new age gating policy that Roblox is rolling out to protect kids. And I think we should just start by talking about the scope of the problem here. What has led you to this point, and how do you think of the problem of PDF files on Roblox? And it goes without saying that this is pretty crazy. If you don't know what they're talking about, this is the new age gating software or rules. It's just an AI software where they take photos of people's faces and try and guess the age of people. Yes, and it's been royally wrong so many different times. Like, Creekcraft did this, and he got 18 to 21. The guy's 28 years old. He's almost 30, and it got him as 21 years old or something like that. 18 to 21. He could legitimately be seen as 18 years old when he's 28. That's how bad the software is. It's a decade off. And I don't even know why David 𝙂𝙖 thinks AI is the solution. It's clearly not. But as the interview goes on, it gets even worse. Because David 𝙂𝙖 states in response, we think of it not necessarily just as a problem, but an opportunity as well. How do we allow young people to build and communicate and hang out together? How do we build the future of communication at the same time? So we know you've been, we think in a good way, working on this ever since we started. And when we were, this was almost 18 or 19 years ago. When we first launched the company, we had just 4 of us sitting in a room. We were literally the moderators. Like, we would rotate all the time. And so fast forward to where we are today. It's just like every week. What is the latest tech? At the scale we're at, 150 million daily actives, 11 billion hours a month. Like, what is the best way to keep pushing this forward? As you correctly know, we've just started adding that we're going to use facial age estimation with AI to complement that. I don't even know what to say to this. It's an opportunity. Okay, the child safety problem that lost you billions of dollars in Roblox stock was, it was an opportunity to improve. It was the millions of children, millions, tens, hundreds of millions of children who've been groomed on the platform. That was an opportunity. I'm sure you'd like to say that to all the victims that you're currently facing in court right now, David 𝙂𝙖. Are you gonna do that? No, he's not, because the pussy. But let's be real. David 𝙂𝙖's statement here is just wild. It sounds like something a politician would say. It sounds like a Donald Trump speech, but if he was like extremely drunk and on 10 grams of... Dude, I cannot believe that the billionaire CEO of Roblox is currently stating this right now. That he genuinely thought this would be a good idea to state in an interview to the New York Times, one of the biggest publications in the world. I'm sorry, but this guy is crazy. I don't know how he has the balls to do this. And in a certain way, I kind of respect it. But at the same time, it exposes just how terrible the platform is and how this is an absolute shit show. Because as the video goes on, things only get even more disturbing.
Jesus Christ,
in one of the worst ways imaginable. Because Newton stated, right, so tell us a little bit about how this works. All users of Roblox now, if they want to communicate with others, they're gonna have to submit a face scan. And yes, this is exactly what they have to do. But David 𝙂𝙖 responded, that's correct. And I think long-term face scan isn't the only signal. Like, mathematically, the more signals that can be convoluted, the better the accuracy, and the better we can get. So we already have signals. We already have behavioral signals. We have photo ID upload signals. We have user-suggested age. But we're complementing that with a facial age estimation signal that literally, in an ephemeral way, use your phone, use your PC, scan an image, do a good AI estimation. The image isn't stored. We start to use that to complement all the other things we do. We're already doing
the image is definitely not stored and you're not selling it to third-party
We're doing a bunch of monitoring, but adding one signal that can really help us to make cool decisions. And look, this is interesting. He lists all these things that he's doing, but he avoids the one thing that they're not doing, which is hiring a sufficient enough moderation team. Let's be real, Roblox does not have the moderation team that it needs. Absolutely no one is actually checking what's going on that platform. Let's be real, they need to hire more people and they need to put more resources into that. But that's going to actually cost them money. So instead they're going to use these crappy AI things, which will actually be used to data farm and sell little children's faces and photographs and, IDs and people's information to other companies. That's exactly what this is for. It's to sell information to other companies, and it's a load of garbage. Roblox, we know what you're doing. It's so obvious. But in this next part, it gets even crazier.
It is obvious as fuck, Roblox.
I want to learn more about this face scanning technology, but first, I'm just struggling to understand how many of your users are which ages. My impression from outside as a non-daily active user of Roblox is that a lot of kids who are 9, 10, 11, 12 are on the app. What is the most popular age band of users on Roblox? And David 𝙂𝙖's answer is kind of interesting. This is really interesting, and I think it goes to what we've been saying for a while, that maybe for the last 5 to 10 years, people look at Roblox and say, well, these are the kind of primitive games, and everyone on the platform is pretty young. We've seen that migrate over the last 5 years from predominantly under 13 to now I believe we recently said self-reported almost 2/3 over 13. We can see those numbers growing and growing, like the fastest growing segments of Roblox at 21 and up right now. And honestly, let's be real, he said self-reported, so this is before any of the age estimation software, which isn't accurate at all, but self-reported ages, okay? Self-reported 13 or older. What does that mean? It means people setting their age as 13 or over, because if they don't do that, they won't get access to the chat filter and certain aspects of the game. So yes, David 𝙂𝙖𝙣 is blatantly lying to everyone here, and it's so obvious that it's funny. And Ruth stated, or at least
It is
people
super
who say they're
obvious.
21 or up, and David 𝙂𝙖𝙣 said, now I think those numbers have a fair amount of current efficiency. We're obviously balancing those with age estimation because we want a tighter estimation, but just looking at the size of the cohorts and the growth rates, there's a fair amount of accuracy to that. And what Newton stated in response to David 𝙂𝙖𝙣 is, it's pretty funny, and I think you guys will agree with what he said. You know, earlier when the EU rolled out some age assurance technology earlier this year, we saw a lot of kids that just took a photo of a video game character and used that to pass the age checks. How confident are you that your systems can avoid that kind of tinkering? And honestly, it's completely right what he's saying here, but David 𝙂𝙖𝙣 had his own kind of answer, and it's very telling as to his optimistic mindset about this, because he really doesn't want to spend the money on actually hiring moderators for the platform. I think we have a lot of opportunity here in that we already have other signals that are maybe not as reliable, but when combined are very reliable. We also have the opportunity. This isn't just a one-time thing. Roblox experiences are you're holding a phone. In many cases, we can use signals from your phone or the camera to animate your face, for example. So this isn't a kind of one-stop shop thing. This is possibly checking as we go. If we see weird signals, do another age check as we go. So I'm pretty optimistic that, kind of more naive, like take a picture of that, we're going to go way beyond that. And it's going to get harder and harder to fingerprint in that way. And none of them are accurate measures. If you put them together and none of them are accurate, all of them are going to be inaccurate. It's going to be even more inaccurate. And it's just crazy how this goes. Because what Newton says next will blow your mind. So after you roll out these changes, you're going to sort users into bands. And depending on if you're like 13, you're only going to be able to talk to people within a few years of your age. For most of Roblox's history though, that has not been the case. Any anonymous adult could talk to any anonymous minor. Why was that the case? But what David 𝙂𝙖𝙣 says here is just wild. He goes into some ramble about text filters and but it's just a load of garbage, and it shows he's not really answering the question that was said. I think we've always from day one really focused heavily on the quality of text filtering, and if anything, we've had very, very historically restrictive text filtering over time. One of the biggest complaints on Roblox, and arguably trading in a good way safety for growth, has been complaints of communication on the platform. Like, there's lots of Roblox memes and themes. If you go back and dig into them, everything is just saying hashtag, hashtag, hashtag. There's been a lot of ... This response doesn't really make any sense to me, and I don't think it makes any sense to you guys. It just sounds like a load of word salad, corporate speak. Lawyer told me to say this. Sorry guys, I can't really speak on the truth of this. Because Newton said, because that's how you blur out words that aren't supposed to be. And David 𝙂𝙖𝙣 stated, that's correct. So there's a lot of historical memes about historical hashtag, hashtag, hashtag. With AI, these filters have gotten better and better. The state of whether we are now is primarily getting to blocking of adversarial attempts to broach the filter and adversarial attempts to try and share PII, which we're getting better and better at as well. The age estimation, it's just, I would say, recently come of age to the point where we would complement it. But I would say our strategy is always complement with whatever technology is out there to put that together. Newton stated in reply, yeah, I mean, I don't know. When I read these lawsuits and these investigations into the company, it does not seem like having that hard of a time getting around your filters. Like, you know, if you read the allegations and it's, you know, people kind of change a few keywords, a few letters here, they're able to get what they need. So I'm curious what's made you so confident that things are working. And yeah, they're not accurate at all, but David 𝙂𝙖𝙣𝙂's
Not
response
really
is
accurate.
even funnier. I don't even know why he said this. It's so stupid. I don't know why he said this. It makes him look so bad.
So
I don't want to comment on it. We do see chat logs of those, and we can see interesting and many times ways of people trying to. I'd say many times people who are fairly sophisticated. I'm not going to say all of them. Many times kids who are over 13, who actually in any other app are not running on a filtered situation, unfortunately, figuring out how to jump onto some other platform where they communicate unfiltered, where they can share images and all of it. It's all one of the primary things we're trying to keep people on our platform. It's an interesting industry situation. I would say we're not waiting for the rest of the industry. We're always trying to stay ahead of it. The California age-appropriate design code, for example, we're already doing that stuff. And the same with the age estimation. We're not doing this because of any of the laws that are coming. We think it's the right thing to do. That's a lot of garbage. He's doing it to get ahead and, you know, pass the legislation beforehand. Get through all of the rules beforehand, because David 𝙂𝙖𝙣 doesn't really care about the actual problems. He just wants to skirt the rules. He just wants to get through and make lots of money. That's all David 𝙂𝙖𝙣 cares about. And Newton stated, yeah, I mean, you mentioned sort of kids leaving the platform. It does come clear in these lawsuits that Roblox is kind of, you know, where PDF files go to find kids, but then they do try to. David 𝙂𝙖𝙣 interjected saying, well, I would say in the lawsuit or the press, yes. I would categorically reject the actual description of what you're saying, but yes, least what you might read in the news would portray it that way. And Newton interjected, "You don't think to have a problem with PDF files on the platform?" And then David 𝙂𝙤𝙣 says, "I think we're doing an incredible job at innovating relative to the number of people on our platform and the hours, and really leaning into the future of how this is going to work." And Newton stated, "So let me ask the question about other platforms though, because I mean, I agree with you, this is not a story about one company. Like, what we see with PDF files will come to a place like Roblox, and they try to get a child somewhere else. Like, Discord is a platform that comes up a lot. It seems to me like you could probably stop a lot of it if you prevented those platform shifts from happening. So like, what can you do in that regard? Like, you know, in my mind, if you see someone chatting like, 'Hey, what's your Discord username?' you know, and maybe it's an adult talking to a minor, that seems like it's a red flag. Maybe you're doing something of that kind of detection already." And then 𝙂𝙂𝙧𝙀 interjected again, stating, "I would actually say that this is a very simple red flag. Like, that sounds like text filter many prior generations beforehand. So I'd say the techniques are much more sophisticated than that. We're already constantly getting better than that, and sometimes it's adversarial. Like, we're getting into, you know, if we cryptographically, we were going to try and have an exchange of how to share your Snap handle or whatever. We see some of that starting. Like, things we'll have to essentially prevent in the future." And Newton stated, "I don't understand. Like, what do you mean? A cryptographic exchange to share a Snap handle?" And then Dave 𝙂𝙂𝙧𝙀 replied, "Imagine you and I were trying to share the name of an airport somewhere in the world, and we're all getting blocked by all the filters. We might actually start trying to get really creative. Like, use the third of every fifth word to spell out the airport. And those are the kind of things we get into right now." And Roos had something really crazy to say. "I have a sort of basic question, and forgive me if this betrays my naivety about Roblox and how the platform works, but like, why have a sort of open-ended text communication feature all in a game that is very popular with young people? Like, I have a son, he's too young to play Roblox or any other game, but I can imagine saying as a parent of a slightly older child, like, I just don't want my kid playing any games that allow them to chat with other people in this way. There are lots of games out there that don't have this kind of feature. Why is it so core to the way that Roblox works?" And then David 𝙂𝙂𝙧𝙀𝙀's tangent exposed just how crazy this CEO really is, how wild he is. Well, I would highlight a few things. First, there's enormous benefits to having people being able to communicate, and we think we see those benefits. There's a lot of kids who find their peeps on Roblox. They're going to use a lot of kids when they're lonely or isolated, actually. I'm not going to use it as an excuse or anything, but I get a lot of calls from famous parents who said, "Look, my kid would be dead if it not for finding a community on a platform like Roblox to stay connected with." And I also say, if we do take an enormous responsibility to design, we're not the sophisticated parent who goes in and says, I'm going to look on and turn off who you can chat and all of that. We have a design for parents and think through that. But we do believe we have enormously great technology up and down the stack. We think it's a great part of building an experience like this. You know, if you go out there in the gaming space, I think it's very common to support communication. I'm not going to list any other games, and typically we are way beyond in. I'd say our innovation level, responsibility level on both the filtering and on the image sharing on all of those things. To which Roos asks, "Is it fair to say that you think any platform of Roblox's size, with the number of users Roblox has, would be experiencing similar safety challenges?" David 𝙂𝙂𝙧𝙀𝙀 replied, "I wouldn't categorize any of that. I would say we're on a scale that is somewhat mind-boggling, so I'm not going to run away, you know, excuse numbers of Roblox relative to any other platform. But I would say a scale of 11 billion hours is very different than a scale of 10 million hours. It's 1,000 times the size of it. I would say the scale we're at is quite enormous. It's 150 million people every day. It's many more than every other month, and relative to an individual game, the scale's enormous. We have experiences on our platform right now that have 25 million people playing at the same time. And traditionally in the gaming market, the record prior to that I think was 11 or 12 for the game of Fortnite. And prior to that, big numbers are considered 1 million for a single game. Like, I remember when Minecraft hit 1 million players. So think about that, a whole platform at some point in time, like Minecraft hitting 1 million users. A single game on Roblox hitting 25 million users. And then Newton asked another really interesting question. Right, but you guys want to scale it, right? You caught it. You send push notifications. You give people daily login rewards. Like, you want the millions and millions to show up. And what David 𝙂𝙂𝙧𝙀𝙀 says in response will blow your mind. I think we actually see there being an incredible opportunity. If that scale is going through platforms with good systems, it's actually a big thing, and the scale already exists. Like, the gaming space in a way is $190 billion. So now we have 3 or 4% of that. I guess 3% coming through Roblox. So I'd like to say we like the scale. It creates an opportunity for an individual game creator who might be making their game by themselves without parts of systems like that to make it as a part of a more overall system. And what Newton said next was perhaps the craziest thing in this entire interview. Here's the dynamic that I think people find frustrating. We have many large tech platforms right now. They see this enormous scale. They reach previously unseen heights, and then they notice they have a problem. They go in and they try to solve it to some degree, and then they keep growing further, and then there's another problem. And I think to some degree that dynamic is probably inevitable. But I think what a lot of people want, what a lot of parents want, is some sense that people have a plan for what is going to happen when the 25 million people show up, right? And they think they're going to look for people around to see the corners and not wait till 20 years in existence to say that. Maybe we should sort the people into age bands before they start communicating with each other. And David 𝙂𝙤𝙣𝙀's response is not what you'd expect. Yeah, I would push back on that bit. I can hear people what you're saying, but I would actually say for people inside of our company, the way we think about it and the way we do look ahead of it, we're constantly looking ahead. You know, it goes back to the very first thing we did probably a month into the company. So a month ago into the company, fun little story, there's about 200 people on Roblox. And what should we do? What should we keep growing it? Or should we build a safety system? And so 200 people in, we said, let's stop everything. Let's go build a safety system. Let's get 4 of us go and become moderators. So behind the scenes, I do agree with you. Enormous responsibility. Enormously important to preempt this. It's why a lot of architecture and decisions we've been making have been made. But we're going to keep doing them right. And you could imagine Roblox at this 20x scale, having 50% of the gaming market space all in a single place. Like, we'll keep innovating on top of that. And 𝙂𝙗 started to press him on the very serious child safety concerns with the platform. Last year, activist fund and short seller Hindenburg Research came out with a report arguing, among other things, that Roblox was compromising child safety in order to report growth to investors. One of the things they pointed out was that there had been a decline in your spending on child and safety. You have denied that. Why? What did they have wrong? And then 𝙂𝙂𝙧𝙀 stated, fine, let's keep going down this. So first off, Hindenburg is no longer in existence, correct? So you should report on that. They went out of business for some reason. The other thing is, have you researched that information? And it's pretty crazy. David 𝙂𝙂𝙧𝙀 is basically saying, oh no,
I have no
the person
idea.
that did the research on the compromising child safety part, they've gone bankrupt, so it doesn't matter, guys. They've just gone bankrupt, so it doesn't matter. To which 𝙂𝙗 said, silence? The David 𝙂𝙂𝙧𝙀 said, you're asking me about this, so I'm curious if you've done your research. And 𝙂𝙗 said, I have. I've done some research about. And 𝙂𝙂𝙧𝙀 said, what's your take on that? 𝙂𝙗, well, I'm asking you. And 𝙂𝙧𝙀 said, so it's really interesting because I think we're diving into a situation where we're getting better and better and better. But I would ask you about the same situation of someone who converted from maybe a hyper-manual labor making cars by hand to an assembly line. The assembly line might be infinitely better and at the same time not have so many people. So I think what we're referring to is moving more and more towards AI. Arguably, it's better to have AI systems reviewing every image, every piece of text, all of that, or to keep doing it manually. I think that was a misnomer. If you think the interview, anyone on our safety team or safety systems, that would just be part of making our systems better. So basically, David 𝙂𝙂𝙧𝙀 is just sweeping it under the rug and saying, we'll just get our AI to do everything. We'll just move it to AI. It's all AI's job. Let's not get any humans moderating the platform or keeping kids safe. All AI. And then 𝙂𝙗 said, so just so I have a clear response, the argument is that the shift has been from a more manual safety team and system to a more automated review process that may do a better job, even if it costs less to operate because... And 𝙂𝙂𝙧𝙀's response was crazy. Yeah, I would lean in harder. The shift would be constantly moving to higher quality, more accurate, and more diligent systems. Can we review more? Can we do better? Say you and I were a system. What is the best way to review every single image going into Roblox higher and higher quality? And say we figured out the best way to do it with a better and better AI model. Would you pick that? 𝙂𝙗 said, yeah. And 𝙂𝙧𝙀 said, good, so you're aligning with what we did. High five. And 𝙂𝙗 said, but I've also been covering social networks. And 𝙂𝙧𝙀 said, thank you for reporting our Roblox decision matrix. And 𝙂𝙗 said, but I also remember 15 years ago when... And 𝙂𝙧𝙀 said, I'm so glad you guys are aligned with the way we run Roblox. High five. 𝙂𝙗, right. I also remember 15 years ago when Mark Zuckerberg was saying... And 𝙂𝙧𝙀's response was wild. Is this a stealth interview where actually you love everything we're doing and you're here to stealthily support it? And Newton stated, we told you we wanted to come in and talk about your new age-gating technology, so you know, we thought we'd get into it. And 𝙂𝙗 said, let me just finish this up. And Newton said, yup. 𝙂𝙗 said, I totally buy what you're saying about using the best technology on the market to keep people safe. And 𝙂𝙧𝙀 said, I want to highlight, I came here because I love your podcast and came to talk about everything. So if our PR people said, let's talk about age-gating for an hour, I'm up for it, and I love your pod. I thought I came here to talk about everything. 𝙂𝙗 said, oh yeah, we're going to talk about still brain rot too. And here they talk about the, in my opinion, one of the dumbest games on Roblox. I've made so many videos about the stupidity of this, but Newton said, yeah, that's a fun one. And 𝙂𝙗 said, that's part of my plan here too. But just to finish the thought, you know, Casey and I both covered social networks back in the 2010s, when it was very popular for people like Mark Zuckerberg to say, oh, we're going to use AI to solve all
I'll
of
be
our content
disgust
moderation.
face.
It's going to take down everything that's scummy or false. We won't need these people anymore. And investors love that. And then they tried to do that and they found that actually, oh, the systems weren't that reliable yet, and maybe they were taking down too much content, or maybe they were missing stuff that was bad. David 𝙂𝙂𝙧𝙀's response is even funnier. Well, look at those social networking companies, like back to 2016, for example, which is a reliance on automation and whatever. We've seen a lot of things where not being the top of what's going on in your company, and these algorithms lead to a lot of dystopians as well. So we looked in the 2016 algorithms and got a little kind into an optimization leap on weird things as well. So think anyways, yeah, I love your questions. I'm glad you guys are supporting how we're running Roblox on our AI technology. 𝙂𝙗 pressed him harder. He said, but you're confident the technology has gotten good enough that you can use it to do moderation on a platform of Roblox's scale. And 𝙂𝙂 Bizuki said, the scale we're at is absolutely mind-boggling right now, like absolutely mind-boggling. And every system, image review, text review, all of that is constantly getting better and better. And then Newton absolutely called him out. I mean, look, Dave, I can tell you're getting a little frustrated here. And Bizuki said, I'm actually not frustrated. I'm so excited to talk. I thought we were going to be talking about funny things in the industry and all that. So I'm not frustrated. I'm just kind of figuring out how much fun time I have with you guys and how much fun time we have versus kind for this super focus. But I'm happy to talk about whatever you guys want. Newton stated, well, let me just maybe try one last thing here, because this is what I really want to understand. It's very difficult to do content moderation at scale. We've learned that from one single company, and I think that platforms provide various benefits to society. I'm on a lot of them every day, okay?
Alright.
So I feel like we're kind of on the same page here, and I think being a CEO of one of these companies can sort of feel like being the head of the Department of Homeland Security, where it's like the best thing that happens during your tenure is that nothing happens, right? Nothing explodes, nothing blows up. Bizuki said, I want to push back on that, and the reason I want to push back on that is that it implies a kind of looking over your shoulder, oh shit posture. That's actually not the optimal posture to build an amazing company. The optimal posture to build an amazing company is, oh my gosh, we are so uniquely responsible for a lot of people under 12. There's so much constant learning, constant innovation that if we can do this right, like the future continues to be big and bright. And I think we're uniquely in the opportunity to do excellent work in this 6 through 12 zone where many other platforms, bounce off it because they just can't do it. They're not doing it right. So that's not how we run the company. We view it as a high responsibility situation, but an incredible opportunity if we can do it right. To which Newton stated, so then my question is, how do you measure success? Like, how do you as the CEO, as you look at everything you're doing, like we're applying the right number of resources, they have the right error rates, and we look at a place where we're telling comfortable parents, bring your kids to Roblox. David Bizuki stated, we store all those metrics internally all the time. They're not publicly shared. We're watching filter rates. We're watching this rate. We're watching all of that rate. Those metrics get constantly better, and we add more and more AI on top of it. As you said, we are constantly running at higher scale as well. My kids are on Roblox. We have thousands of people in the company. Their kids are all on Roblox. But I would say, and I've said about other things, a parent is the ultimate arbiter of responsibility. And if a parent out there, for any reason, is not comfortable with their kid going to the park, not comfortable with their kid playing a certain toy, not comfortable with their kid on Roblox, who am I to say right? And I do leave it to the parent's responsibility. I just operate in his example. Like, what would I do with my own kids? And what David Bizuki said was crazy. So when my son was really young, we had really radical screen time limits. And you can imagine, as you're a parent, you have second, third, and fourth kid, you loosen up on that. I'm actually kind of supportive in a way, but I think there's a lot of contributing factors. Like, what is the ratio of blue light to non-blue light? How much of the screen time is solo consumption versus group consumption? And what time of the day is screen time? So I would say 2 a.m. heavy blue light solo consumption short form video, that's arguably a type of screen time than, noon with your friends while playing a hide and go seek. But I do think there's something worth thinking about. And then David Bizuki went on some tangent about the polling market stuff, which I don't think anyone really cares that much about. And then they entered off the interview, and I think it was pretty crazy. David Bizuki did not really answer any of the important questions. It just made him look like a money-hungry buffoon. But let's be real, were we expecting anything better out of Mr. Diddy David Bizuki, Mr. David Epstein Bizuki? No, we weren't expecting any better. He's a crazy lunatic, and this is exactly what I was expecting out of the podcast with him. And it might be the end of his career, maybe it's not. If you guys enjoyed this video, be sure to leave a like, subscribe, click one of those on the screen right now, comment down below your thoughts. Peace out.
I'll probably do I'll probably do long hair. It's gonna be all wizardy and stuff like that. Do long hair. Do temporary ear just in case. Alright.
So we called on Monday.
Oh, what's this? Oh yeah. Oh, I think.
And the language that you're using in front of a 13-year-old, I don't appreciate either.
This is a public space. I'm gonna let you know that right now, man. This is a public space, so.
Well, and we wait our turn like grown-ups.
No,
In a
100%.
public space.
And I'm just letting you know that, sometimes you can also ask, hey, would you like to please use normal language in front of my daughter? That would have been great too.
I think in a public space, we kind of have an understanding.
I mean, I'm not gonna lie, that wall is blocked. It's like,
Well,
Honestly, at this point, I'm just getting tired of content creators and streamers out in public using the "it's a public space" excuse when just being a general nuisance to everybody else who just has a regular life. Like, it just gets to a point to where you are just completely obnoxious, and then you don't have any public social etiquette for everybody else who are not in this line of work. And this is coming from me as a content creator who's been doing this for basically over 10 years at this point, and actually being paid for about 8 years now for uploading and streaming content to the internet. So obviously, in this situation, I am probably the best person to speak on this topic. And mind you, ladies and gentlemen, this is the same Nina Lynn who was friends or is friends with the Zoe Laverne chick who SA'd that editor slash producer assistant for the streamer Silky. It went from "it's just a prank, bro" to "I'm just a YouTuber, it's for my channel, it's for my YouTube channel," to now it's a public space. Meanwhile, you are in closed facility in a private establishment with a child, a mother, her child, sitting right next to you, and you're cursing, using foul language. And you guys know I'm not a quote-unquote snowflake. Yes, I do curse. Yes, I do sometimes say outlandish stuff in my videos. But would I ever, in the presence of a family, a mom and her child, use harsh language, foul language, and be disrespectful in front of somebody who literally does not want to hear me cursing and acting a fool for content in an enclosed space when she's just trying to enjoy her spa day with her daughter next to her? Like, genuinely speaking, I fail to see how this isn't common sense at this point. If you want to go outside and do that where people have the freedom to move out of your way, they don't have to be trapped in an enclosed space 5 feet away from you, hearing you do all kinds of wild buffoonery, go for it. But if you're in an enclosed establishment, and mind you, again, this is the same woman, along with her best friend Zoe Laverne, who SA'd that young man, Syed, who was, by the way, banned for literally, what, 2 days max? Yeah, apparently male SA in this day and age is not taken seriously, if it ever will be. Yes, the double standard is very real. Had that been, oh my God, a male doing that to a female, roles reversed, that man, he would have caught charges. That said, though, I now see why the general public has a disdain for streamers now. It makes sense.
I appreciate you cleaning it up now.
Oh, of course. Like, it's only the issue, you know, not everything has to be all.
This is like,
It's like the most paranoid. I cannot. What the hell?
She calls her a Karen because she doesn't want you cursing in front of her child while she's at her spa appointment getting her, what is this, a pedi manicure? Or the pedicure is for your feet, right? And so was her kid right there. Meanwhile, you didn't even ask her for permission to have her on stream, literally on a live stream in front of thousands, potentially millions of people with the re-uploads. Like, again, if I were an IRL streamer and I'm in a situation like this, I just want to make sure everybody's comfortable. Are you cool being on the camera? Do I have your permission to film you? If I'm not in public and I'm in an enclosed environment like this, I want to make sure everybody's comfortable. And clearly this lady is not comfortable.
I appreciate the apology.
Oh shit.
1, 2.
Sir, do not be recording.
I'm doing that
It's
hard.
just me. It's just me. Trust me. We got no one else. We can't do that either.
See, she deserves to be kicked out of this establishment. She's genuinely a jackass. Not only is the client not comfortable, the one who told her to, you know, calm down, don't curse in front of my child, but also the nail tech over there is now having to butt in. She clearly looks annoyed, telling her cameraman to not film. And now Nina wants to lie and say, oh, it's only just me. Meanwhile, you're using a wide lens that captures basically the entire frame of the room. Like, genuinely speaking, of all places, why are you in a nail salon doing any of this?
Yeah.
1, 2. We had to.
Yeah.
Right. We had to do that. Yeah. Right.
Yeah, this is just straight up anti-social behavior. And again, this is why content creation streamers and, you know, people in my line of work are now some of the most hated people in the world. They view us as spoiled, entitled, rude, antisocial, just neurotic, and downright annoying.
Fuck. Bitch. Shit.
And they think this shit is funny. And of course, you guys already know I always like to get the general sentiment of the public, what people like to, you know, say in regards to these clips in the comment section, right? And in the comment section, people are now saying, Nina Lynn is the new Jack Dorothy. I can't stand her, bro. Swear she's speedrunning to be the most unlikable person in streaming. Another person said, don't like Nina, but let's not act like 13-year-olds are all innocent. And I fail to see the relevance. See, this is some weird ass logic, and this is a slippery slope. And mind you, at 13, 13. We all used to be 13. Some of us may have smoked cigarettes or drank alcohol or viewed explicit content on the internet. That now makes literal adults like Nina legally or morally in the position to now expose 13-year-olds to any of that because, quote unquote, let's not act like 13-year-olds are innocent. I just fail to see the relevance. It doesn't matter if that 13-year-old girl in that chair with her mom was innocent or not. There are certain things called boundaries, of which it seems like modern people, especially content creators, just don't understand. Someone else said seeing streamers interact with normal people is hilarious because it shows how fucking stupid the streamer is. Here we have this one commenter by the name of Chris underscore 303, Chris with a K, by the way. He said, clearly she don't give enough about what y'all think. She a vibe for real. The way he's even saying this is cringe. And she right, it's a public space. Protect your children all you want. Not letting them cuss is gonna have them cussing every sentence when they grow up. Soft ass generation. Yo, I think they're failing to understand the point, bro. There's something called boundaries, bro. Second of all, I'm an adult, and if somebody's sitting right next to me while I'm in a spa getting a pedi, right? Some guys do. I've gotten my feet washed and toes pampered in the past before. Don't come for me. That said, though, if I had some ratchet, ghetto, loudmouth, belligerent person next to me with a foul mouth saying all kinds of stuff while streaming, as a man, I would be pissed too. Like, that's weird as fuck. And I'm an adult man. That doesn't mean I'm soft. You guys know I'm not soft, but there's something called a time and place for everything. I don't know why people just don't understand the concept of, you know, particular places, different contexts for different behaviors. See, this is why the society we live in now is so, like, everybody's angry and cynical because we just don't have social etiquette and like empathy for one another anymore. It's really annoying and strange. Someone else pointed out something that I said earlier in this video. It's actually not a public space. It's private property and could be kicked out. I think they meant she could, which is true. Private property. The owner came in, saw you doing this, a manager, and wanted you out. You could have been kicked out. Public property means that you have a right to be there under federal law. A nail salon, a private nail salon that is not subsidized by the government is technically not a public place or space. Someone else then said, hate this bee, but kicked out for cursing. If this lady doesn't own the place and no one else has a problem, then she shouldn't be kicked out, and let's not act like 13-year-olds don't. I hate that logic. They keep bringing up that child's age as if there's any relevance. Just because some 13-year-olds curse doesn't mean all of them curse. And just because a lot of them curse doesn't mean a parent who's with that 13-year-old wants somebody else cursing in front of their child. The same thing goes for smoking, drinking, twerking, toting guns, and any other adult recreational activity. I'm sure plenty of kids do the same thing, but that doesn't mean a parent who's out with their kid wants somebody else doing that in front of their kid.
Okay, so I also like kind of have a story about pretty much, it's not even a streamer. It was a random stranger who's pretty much had no sense of etiquette at all in public space. And this was when I was before my my dad retired, and I was able to like visit him, like physically visit him. Dad's still alive. He's in another country now. He retired in another country now, but that's not the point. So basically, it was my dad told me to basically babysit my little sister. So I pretty much did. We were pretty much waiting like it was pretty decently warm summer day. So I was just trying to entertain my little sister, whatnot. And so like peekaboo, whatnot. She was like what? Okay, I'm not mentioning it, but basically like it's a little baby sister. Not like baby, more like a toddler sister, but like, yeah. I call her my baby sister, regardless. Regardless of how old she gets. I still call her a baby sister, even if it embarrasses her. Anyway, so basically, a stranger decided to, this lack of a woman, I want to say that, just to insult her. This lack of a woman, basically, oh, this hairstyle actually look good. Do I want, ooh, maybe I want to do this. Okay, I need to use the restroom real quick. Hold on. Alright, and back. Oh, come on. Okay, there we go. And back. Alright, Alright. Where the fuck is it? There you go. Hello? 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 Bitch. There we go. Alright, there we go. There we go. Alright. So basically, what I was saying, oh yeah, so basically this lack of a woman, very, so this is a little older, she looking at older age, probably younger than she looks, but like, she's probably older, like old as fuck. So, basically what happened, I think this was when I was around like 13 years old. This shit happened. 13, 14, yeah, 13 years old when this shit happens. I was 13 years old when this shit happened. So basically, this woman decided to literally smoke right in front of, like right next to me and this little sister. And guess what? There was no actual a smoke tray inside. The smoke tray was actually at the corner of the outlet building we were at. And basically what I did, so this is when I was very non-confrontational. So basically what I immediately did was basically I decided to just bring let's just word in stroll. So I decided to bring her inside the shoe store that my parents were at. I told my dad what happened, and later I started smoking right next to us, and I gave her a disgusting look. She ignored me and just went out. So basically we decided to not confront her, just let her be stupid, I guess. But I was, even though I didn't want to like make a whole scene, that day I wanted to fucking yoink that shit out of Leia's hand and fucking stuff it in her bra. Make her feel a burn. That was literally my thought when I was 13 years old. It's just like, why the fuck would you do this in front of my little sister, no less? So yeah, it was pretty much annoying for me. So yeah.
Like, it's like these people don't understand until they have their own kids. Mind you, I don't even have kids yet. I probably won't for the next decade or so. But even I can understand that very simple logic of not wanting to be around degenerate behavior while you're out on a spa day with your kid. Then this guy responded back by saying, you're cursing, filming minors without a parent's and others' consent. Yeah, because even the nail tech was obviously annoyed. They also say you're being loud and having a full camera crew. Mind you, we didn't even see the person filming, like a whole camera crew in the shop. But yeah, they say having a full crew just watch you and be in everyone's way. The owners could easily kick her out unless she's gotten permission from the owner and consent of the customers to film them. But with that context, clearly this person doesn't care, and clearly Nina doesn't care. Like, I'm telling you, it's people like this who are gonna like make more rules for content creation. They're gonna force the hands of Twitch, YouTube, and Kick and all these other social media platforms to now start enforcing rules on all of us content creators that can limit our freedoms on what we can film, because people like Nina can't behave. Literally, it happens all the time. All it takes is one content creator to fuck up, go too far, and now we're all being censored. Even if we do have the permission of other people around us to film, now all of a sudden we can't do any of it because Nina set the precedent. Anyway, guys, let me know what you think about this. This came across my feed. I wanted to talk about it because it's just annoying. And I feel like sometimes I'm an outlet for the average person to vent their frustrations through, and I can use my platform to do that for you guys. That said, hope you guys found this informative, entertaining at least. If you have any other videos or topics you want me to cover, you already know what to do. DM me on Instagram. And yeah, catch you guys in the next one.
Yep. Pretty much catch them on the next one. Alright,
Recently, I became the owner of a second-hand Surface Duo. I made this video about it, but there's something interesting about this device that I had in mind when I bought it. No, not just that it has 2 screens, although that's certainly an awesome feature. No, it's the fact that you can run full desktop Windows on this thing.
what the fuck?
What? Yes, it's true. This was an Android smartphone, but now it's an ultra-portable Windows handheld. Let me tell you what this is all about, cause I think it's pretty cool. But first, something to get out of the way. I've been a bit busy lately, as evidenced by my upload schedule, but either way, I was really excited about this project. I actually started this script back in August of 2025. And then I woke up to this on my feed. Welp, the secrecy of my discovery couldn't last forever. However, I'm going to continue with this video as though nothing ever happened. In all seriousness though, I just wanted to mention Frog4Duck's video. It's a great video, and in general, I'd say he goes just a bit more in detail than I do.
It really does feel like a hot surface. Hey, get it?
I just didn't want to seem like I was plagiarizing or anything. Please don't cancel me. Anyways, go sub to Frog4Duck. He's awesome. And back to your regularly scheduled programming.
Nice.
Now, I remember discovering this when I watched this video by 𝙂𝙚𝙣𝙚𝙧𝙖𝙀. Now, in that video, they never used a Surface Duo, just some random old Android phones. But immediately, I was hooked. And of course, that was the start of the rabbit hole.
Of course. And
Now,
of course it
this
had to be rabbit hole.
Project Renegade, aims to create standard UEFI firmware for certain Android smartphones. If you just heard all that and you were like, Carter, what the heck does any of that mean? Don't worry, it's not that important. What is important is that it allows us to run pretty much any existing desktop operating system on a select set of Android smartphones. I was originally just gonna scroll through this list and find the cheapest one so I could try, but then I saw the Surface Duo on the list, and now here we are. One thing you may think is, Carter, why not use the Surface Duo 2? Well, first because they're expensive, but also because the software support for the Duo 2 is apparently much worse, so I decided to just use the original. Anyways, before I show you Windows, I need to tell a little story. The day is August 18th, 2025, and I have just received my Surface Duo in the mail. Now, as you may know from my last video, I got it for pretty cheap since it wasn't in great condition, but I didn't really care. I went to try unlocking the bootloader to prepare to install Windows, just to make sure there were no problems. Except there were. Remember how the listing I bought from noted that the volume buttons were broken? Well, I didn't. and you need to press the volume buttons for this one step in the process to select the option to unlock the bootloader.
Fix the volume buttons.
Well, so at this point I was panicking a little. Not too much since the listing had 30-day returns, but it would really suck if I got stuck here and just couldn't make this video, since other listings for Surface Duos were, very expensive. So after a little googling, I found that the best way to fix this was just to scrub around the buttons with alcohol and just pray that they regain functionality. I also used some tweezers to try scraping inside the buttons as well, and somehow, by the will of the great Bill Gates himself, the upper volume buttons started working again, and I was able to unlock the bootloader for this video.
Ooh.
Well, that was stressful. Anyways, after that, the process is surprisingly simple. You have to flash your Duo with an FFU file, which installs Windows and a fresh copy of Android. It didn't work the first time, by the way. So I had to back up all my Android data and set it up again, which was a little annoying. But it was fine. Then all you have to do when you want to boot into Windows is plug it into the computer, accept USB debugging permissions, select switch to Windows mode in the app, and then wait for it to boot. And you're done. Here we go. First attempt, booting Windows. Just gonna wait for it to load and see how it goes.
Whoa.
That looks a little different. Oh. That's Windows looking. Oh, that's real Windows looking. Okay. Well, I've been holding my phone here for a few minutes now, but... Okay. I don't really know how long this is gonna take, and I don't really want to run out of storage on my phone, so I'm just gonna stop recording. Okay.
Ooh.
We are in business.
Okay, that's fucking
What
cool.
the heck even is Windows 11 anymore? Skip. Can we hurry it up, please?
Imagine they...
Oh my god. Skip. Is this what they're talking
Imagine the same shit they did with the Xbox, where they're saying, "Oh, this isn't an Xbox. This isn't an Xbox. This isn't an Xbox." Imagine they do it with Windows. Oh, this is a Windows. This is a Windows. This is a Windows. Yeah, that'll just go down to shit. Microsoft's already going down to shit. Might as well just shoot their only other star product in the gutter as well.
about when we're talking about Windows 11 being crap? It's gonna be a no. Okay. You really gotta think about that one
boop,
too?
Boop, boop,
There was one freaking option.
I got booped. I got booped. Hi, Flora. Hi. Sorry I didn't notice you earlier, but hi. How are you? If you're still here, I hope your day went well.
It was just a next button. Are we really doing all that? Microsoft! Okay. And we are in. Yep. This is Windows. Oh, and I just leaked my full name. Thanks, Microsoft. Can we go to settings at least?
Whoa.
Hello. There it goes. Oh, I actually quite like the mobile interface. See, like, Microsoft has put some thought into this. It's not particularly performant. I'll tell you what, I'm gonna get this set up, and I'll get back to you on that. So not even 2 seconds later, it blue screened, because I switched the charger. Bruh.
Did I really just get hit with the freaking Windows update? We cannot be serious.
Trying to see how to work this out.
Now, this is pretty cool, but what can you even do with it?
Oh, I have an
Well,
idea.
it does run full Windows applications.
Wings.
I didn't really find it as useful for stuff like web browsing as it was on Android. Not only is the Windows browser experience a bit slower, Windows 11's UI is just not really designed for this device. It's pretty clunky to use both of the screens, and for me, folding the device in half makes the displays freeze for some reason.
Okay, so never mind on that, actually. As it turns out, as long as you use this display, touch like fully works, and it's just like a single screened Windows device. Even auto rotate. Okay, auto rotate doesn't work. That's it's a bit problematic. But if you flip it to this side, it does not want to touch. It actually is still using the touch sensor from the other panel. So when you move your finger on the back, it scrolls on the front. So yeah, it's pretty jank, especially because in this orientation, auto rotate is correct. I wonder if maybe there's some way to fix this, because
there could be someone to fix it.
This is not great, but just an FYI. Oh yeah, and I forgot to mention, I guess if you wanted to use it like this, you could just turn on rotation lock. And I don't know, I think this is pretty cool, but yeah.
But I'm not too mad about it since Windows looks beautiful on them. Granted, I daily drive a 1080p Acer monitor on my main setup and spend most of my work time on my school-issued Chromebook, so the bar is pretty low here, but using the Duo was the first time I really ever appreciated Windows 11's design. Auto-rotate works as well. It's a bit jank, but it's there, and I respect that. But so far, Windows seems to have just made this device kinda worse. What does Windows do better in this form factor and with this performance that Android couldn't do? Even a lot of PC games can be run on Android nowadays, like through PC emulators or ports, like the Source Engine port I talked about in my Portal video, which you should watch, by the way. Well, anyways, have you ever played Rocket League on a Surface Duo? No?
No.
Well, that's what I'm trying to do. It seemed simple. I downloaded Epic Games, installed Rocket League, launched it, and
Crash.
froze up the whole system, ending in a blue screen and kicking me back to Android. Fun. But then, after a bunch of experimenting, I found that launching the game in windowed mode got it to run, so let's try it.
It works! Okay, we need to move this to the top monitor though, because I can't really see the majority of the screen. Oh.
George is just trying to figure out this hairstyle.
Oh, wait, the window moved. Trackpad, please save us. To the top.
Oh my god.
Oh god. Why does it do that?
It's dying.
Oh no. Oh, I thought this was gonna work. Wait, no, it's working. Oh my goodness. We're in the tutorial. I'm pretty sure I put in a flag to skip the tutorial actually, but can we use the controller? Oh wait, we can. A to jump. Pressed it. Oh god.
Oh god. That sounds horrible.
It's so laggy. Oh my goodness. Please let us get into a menu. We need to tank these settings stats. No, it's making me join the tutorial match. Press any button. I'm pressing a button. Okay. Okay, dude. Can we try? Oh my gosh. Pause. Please let us pause. Wait, we're paused. Okay. Settings. Settings. Okay, here we go.
I need to simplify this.
640 by 480. Yeah, that sounds about right. Okay, how do I apply though? Do I just exit settings? So it did not save our resolution settings. Is there a way that we can see them?
Ah, hello.
Wait, I saw a Windows menu down there. No, that's not what I want. Dude, why is the taskbar over here? But not... Stop, go away. Come on, please. Trackpad, come on, go! I believe in you, my hero. Apply, there's the button. Apply display settings. Yes. In all of my years, I've never seen Rocket League run this bad.
Let's see, this having an issue.
Joystick's still not working. I can only go forward. Wait, no. Wait, I can sort of do it. No, I lost connection again. I don't really have any idea at this point. Like, what are you supposed to do when it runs this bad? It'll catch up eventually, don't worry. Huh?
What happened? Oh no.
We crashed. Oh, are you kidding? Yep, there you go. Yeah.
I think it's using so much power.
I was literally just screwing around with it and
I think Windows is pulling so much power from the battery faster than it can. The Android phone can compensate, in which it's crashing a lot. It's actually crashing the Android phone, basically, not just Windows itself.
What the heck? It's working. Hang on, let me get my tripod. Okay, so we've made it back in game at least. Oh boy, it's connected. Oh no. You know, I wonder, would this work over USB? Oh my goodness, that is so much better. Wait, I can actually use the controller now. Lowest of the low. Oh wait. Got another setting we can lower. That is perfect.
Oh.
Wait, it's working, kind of. It's really laggy, but oh boy, I suck. Wait, no, get away from our goal. I almost just own gold, but that's fine. Oh, come on, get it in! Someone knock it in! Oh, I just I knocked it out. I'm so stupid. Chat, if you are bad at Rocket League and you're not playing on the Surface Duo, I'm sorry, but you're not a gamer. If I get a goal on this, that would be insane. I was right behind you. Oh shoot! No! No, stop! Bro, ain't no way we're ending in a tie. Brother, if they score this, I'm actually crashing now. Watch them. Okay. We're into overtime. Go! Get the... Wait! Okay, that's not it. Wait, wait, it was! Ain't no way I got a goal on the Microsoft Surface Duo, everyone. Have you seen the setup? Have you seen the setup?
That's fucking
That is
wild.
ridiculous, and I love it. Granted, that was just a bot match, because that was the tutorial. We are immediately going for absolute
I can make the hair
extreme
longer.
overkill mode, aka joining a casual match.
Nice. Okay, that is fucking cool.
Mode is running right now.
You probably got copyright already because
It's not looking great, but you know, first we're gonna try Portal 2, because that seems substantially more likely to, like, work.
Yep. It immediately crashed.
What? Is Portal 2... Oh, wait. No, it did something. I won't touch it. Okay, I'll touch it. Is it there? What is going on, bro? Oh, wait, never mind. Oh. It's working. Oh yeah, one thing about Windows is that audio is a no-go. Once again, there's no sound, so no idea how that would work, but this is running. Like, hey, input latency ain't even that bad either. Maybe we could get to a test chamber or something. Somewhere there's more stuff going on, you know? So this isn't a great... Oh boy. Not a great frame rate. Yeah, here we go. This is a test chamber. All right. How do we fare once we open a portal? Oh, okay. That was a lot of lag. That is a lot of lag. Oh boy.
Alright. Good, also.
Although, actually, I wonder what graphic settings this defaulted to. Advanced video? Dude, what the... 4x anti-aliasing? What the heck? Everything's on a high. Oh no, it froze. Oh, wait, bro, we're back. Okay. Looks good to me, bro. Oh my goodness. That's weird. It's like smoother-ish.
Smoother-ish, yes.
That much of an improvement. Like, it's smoother, but it's still kind of jittery, you know?
Still kind of
this is
shitty.
Definitely smoother, but the frame times are terrible. Like, oh, that's a bit odd. Oh boy. That was lag. Ooh, it does not like doing physics.
At all.
Reasonable. Right. Now, just gotta line this up. Man, what the... Come on, give it to me. What the f...
One
Come on,
after
grab
two.
Grab it. Oh, there it is. This seems like
Alright.
probably not the best way to play this, but you could if you wanted to. And that's more than I expected, honestly. Alright, that's Portal 2. Anyways, now it's time for... This is not what I wanted to do. If we could just go to the Steam menu, please. This does seem to be running better, though.
Well.
Oh my gosh, get out. Xbox Game Bar, nobody likes you. Now, the final game I have to try is Peak. I'm pretty sure this is not going to work at all. Shoot, do we go DX12 or 11? I don't know what's gonna perform better. Ah, decisions, huh? DX11? So... Is the whole screen supposed to just go black? My controller disconnected. Dude, usually it just crashes and I get sent back to Android. I don't just get the silent treatment. False alarm, everyone. The battery just died. Well, I guess we'll
Well.
reconvene at a later date.
Lol.
Oh.
Oh?
Wait, what the heck? Wait, I didn't think this was gonna work. Gang, I just wanted to peek in the thumbnail. I just wanted to clickbait people. What is this?
Peak.
Oh boy, that's chugging. Let's play offline real quick. Oh wait, I should have changed the settings.
Oh no.
Oh no.
Oh no.
Oh, this is so crashing.
Oh no.
I should have tanked the graphic settings. I don't know why did I do that?
Why did you do that?
Oh, this is gonna take 50 minutes to load. I know it, bro.
Takes several business days to load.
Oh? Hang on. It's running though. That's more than I expected. That wasn't even that bad of a wait.
Yeah.
Oh dear. Okay, we crashed.
Of course. Of course you crashed.
Going to
Of course you crashed.
drag this up to the top screen. That seems like it would just be a little bit better. I can't even drag the window? Are you joking?
Lol. Of course it crashed. It crashed so hard.
Okay. Peak is green? What is up with the logo? Hey, that's a better frame rate. It's fairly smooth, at least. I wouldn't say good, but I'd
At least
say
it's working.
better than what we had. Honestly,
Yeah, at least it's working.
better than Portal 2, because at least this is consistent, you know? Portal 2 is kind of all over the place. It's like, well, yeah, you could get like 60 FPS, but then you'll drop down to like 10. This, like, I don't know, it's a constant 20 maybe. Although actually, see, this feels a bit smoother though. I wonder if my movement speed's just kind of slow. Yeah, dude, that's not... I mean, okay, it's pretty jittery. It's not, like, terrible. You know what? If this works, I may just, like, try and play Peak with the boys on this.
Oh
You
no.
know?
Foreshadowing.
Hang on.
Foreshadowing.
Wait. We're just playing Peak. Wait, what the heck? This has no right to work this well, bro. Like, dude, what? I
That
am
has no right to work that
utterly
well.
Baffled.
That game has no right to work that
Like,
well. Holy shit.
Seriously, how is this running better than Portal 2 did? Portal 2 is from, like, what was it, 2013? I guess I'm
2000.
wrong about that. It's low-key kind of working, though.
I'm surprised it's working that well.
Oh boy, it's frozen. Oh no!
It crashed.
Well, it crashed.
Despite this, I still called my friends a few days later to join an online match. I had to stall them for like 30 minutes because I was having issues with my Steam Cloud, and also Surface Duo is just really, really slow. But finally, I joined a game. I also set up a Bluetooth speaker, since all of the audio equipment on the Surface Duo is just non-functional. For some reason, it only worked for gameplay, not for voice, for some reason. I'm in game! Wait. You can actually hear the audio.
Carter, don't start anything, invite us first.
Okay. How?
In the invite kiosk.
Oh, invite friends. Wait, you're in! Okay, I'm really laggy.
Ow, ow,
Okay,
ow.
I'm a mute up on Discord. Yo, can you hear me?
Invite me, please. Cause I was joking.
Hey, yo! Here's what?
Okay, they can't hear me. That's okay, we can still play.
You're very...
Carter, we're in the game.
Oh boy, I'm still loading.
Okay.
I'm in! I'm in! Wait, it's working! No! I got disconnected! How did I get disconnected as the host, bruh? Oh, boys, I think it crashed. Oh, my controller's not... Oh, I think the whole thing crashed. Windows is not... Oh, it crashed. Oh. Oh, the dream's dead.
Rip.
It's so over.
This will never work.
Okay. You know what? I think we call it there, boys. We were in the lobby.
Oh. My game crashed.
Anyways, after that experience, I did manage to get peak multiplayer working, and it was stable, but the frame rate was absolutely atrocious.
This game's never felt more exhausting.
I would not recommend ever playing this way. Not that I think anyone would, but it was interesting to me, at least.
Oh no, 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 no.
It certainly is an interesting
My
way to
controller
play.
disconnected. I'm falling, I'm falling.
Anyways, that's the end of whatever this was. Thanks for watching. I'll see you next time, I guess.
Well, yes, indeed, whatever that was. Even... Come on, mouse. Thank you. I hate the fact that my mouse just automatically turns itself off. I don't like that. I really don't like that. Even though it's like a wireless mouse, I don't like the fact it turns itself off.
Hello, guys and gals, me 𝙂𝙚𝙣𝙚𝙧𝙖, and you know, ladies and gentlemen, I want to have a little bit of a chat about the future of stuff that I'm going to be doing on this channel. And honestly, one thing that has me the most excited that I've ever been. Now, for the last 3 months, I know that I've been ragging on Microsoft. I've been talking about computer privacy. I've been talking about your safety. I'm talking about Big Brother spying on you. But, you know, in amongst all of the crazy, wild negativity that exists in the world, I have never been more passionate about talking about the penguin, ladies and gentlemen. And that is about really Linux. Now, going into the future, you know, by 2026, you know, I got a long time before GTA 6 drops. I've got a long time before serious life changes occur for me where I'll have less time to do YouTube. So, you can make of that what you will, right? But the reality of it is, you know, I want to talk about interesting things. I want to go back to looking at some internet creepypasta stuff. I want to, you know, really go into
classic 𝙂𝙗𝙗. I can't wait for that.
web stuff. Hopefully shying away from some of the more negative stuff because literally trying to browse to I've literally just been editing something for it the last 20 hours, so to speak, like just sort of like looking through websites. A lot of it is still Hitman stuff. A lot of it, unfortunately, has become really illegal stuff. But I still try to wade through and find some of the funny things that at least I can show you. But something that is so positive for me, okay, is talking about Linux. Now, I don't know if you guys have known this, but Linux broke 5% desktop share in the United States. If you don't know why that is,
nice.
I want you to remember, okay, we've been going up 1 something percent every year. Now, I know for a fact, nobody, no one, no normie, okay, no grandpa that is browsing on the computer is going to be installing Linux, okay? It's just never going to happen, okay?
Or just Linux Mint.
But, you know, in the last 3 months, some of the most popular videos on this channel have been talking about, you know, ragging on Windows, obviously, but also using Linux. You know, the other day, I made a video where I talked about Zorin OS, and, you know, a week before that, I talked about something. I made the monthly Linux cope video into the almost weekly Linux cope video. But it's not so much cope, in my opinion, as it is actually teaching. Now, some of the most popular stuff here has been sort of teaching you how to run Windows stuff on Linux, how to get games up and running on Linux, and it really has shown me that there's a market of people that just exist out on the internet that want to escape this evil island that we have, okay? This evil island where almost every single corporation wants to stick surveillance tech into your software. You know, they want to put AI everywhere, you know, to the point where you can't even escape from it, okay? You can't just escape. You can't just hide in your shell and escape from, you know, all these big brother tech firms looking into your day-to-day life without any goddamn impunity. Now, you know, I've been using Linux for like 6 years now, and it's brought a lot of like joy into my life. Joy in the sense that I'm a tinker. I love playing around with stuff. I love playing around with all forms of technology. And nothing has been more exciting for me than firing up Linux and trying to get things to work. Maybe that's just a psycho masochist in me, but I do tend to enjoy it. And the last 3-4 months, one of the reasons why I've been super duper positive about it, and one of the reasons why I want to make it sort of a future point of my channel, sort of talk about it going into 2026 pretty heavily, is because I really do feel like we're on a cusp of things kind of changing. We're on a cusp of actual competition finally arriving. And I guess one of the reasons I'm making this video is to sort of like ask you what it is that you want to go forward with, because, you know, from time to time any YouTuber has to talk to their audience and just sort of get a gauge of where things go into the future. Take some constructive criticism, take some, you know, actual, you know, just talking to the community, right? So, you know, I want to just kind of ask you how interested you would be in if we decided to just go further into the Linux side and start to actually talk about getting not just your favorite, you know, programs to run, but also how to make the experience just that much more closer to what you're currently used to. I've noticed in the comment section, there's been a lot of people that have been asking, 𝙂𝙗, what if I don't have Steam? What if I don't care for Valve? Can I just install games onto my actual system just like I would? And I don't know if they're asking me if they want to pirate video games onto their stuff. Sometimes it can be hard to tell in the coded speak we have. But, you know, yes, you can. And, you know, I've kind of shown it on my channel, but I feel like there's got to be better ways for me to sort of like tutorialize this. You know, a couple days ago when I made that Zorn OS video, I really wanted to show people sort of that raw, uncut experience of what it's like to switch over. I really hate it when like channels start to like almost you know, hide the fact that there sometimes is resistance. Sometimes things aren't so picture perfect. So I do like to show you guys the experience as it is, so you as a viewer can judge if you really want to go down such a confusing road. But, you know, looking at things like modding video games, for instance, which I've had a lot of questions asked. It's like, 𝙂𝙗, do you mod video games? And actually, you know, today I was just modding Cyberpunk 2077, and I actually was blown away by how easy it is underneath, you know, platforms like Linux now, with a lot of software that just sort of does it all for you. It's not just that, but even for things like content creation, like people who want to edit videos, record things, be content creators like live streamers, you know, a lot of these stuff is almost nearly feature complete. And again, you know, in a world where computer hardware is getting super duper expensive and the upgrade paths are becoming limited in the mainstream, having actual competition really, in my opinion, just helps.
It just helps, really. It just helps.
The only way that it's going to work is if there's actual good tutorials, there's actual good like material out there
Imagine
to actually learn from. Like I said,
imagine Microsoft sending DMCA strike and DMCA strike notices just because you teach someone to how to install Linux on their PC. Not even a Windows PC. It's just a PC that doesn't have any operating system installed on it. Or they probably won't take a DMCA takedown because it features Windows on it. But if they do it on Linux, Microsoft has no right to actually take the video down because the tutorial is done on Linux. And then I guess the only way that Microsoft would be able to like take down it looked really bad, Microsoft, but they pretty much really have the right to actually like, take down a program they feel like it's actually violating their terms of service. Which is bullshit in the first place, but still probably gonna do with a class action lawsuit and be drain their money. And they had a class action lawsuit for trying to gatekeep installing operating systems. And it was so bad to the point that Microsoft said, no, you're allowed to do it anyways. We don't want to lose any more money. You just go ahead, install another operating system to your PC. But yeah. Anywho, I think I'm done with like trying to do the head and stuff like that. For the head, I'm trying a little bit. I kind of did like I don't know if I was going for, like, it kind of looks like a mermaid kind of thing, seaweed. I know the flame, but it looks like more like a seaweed. A mermaid wizard, or mermaid witch. That would be fucking cool. That would be fucking cool. A mermaid, a mer-witch. But yeah. See here. I guess I'll be. Oh, let me. Okay. Get locked. Here we go. In your chat. In your chat. Ooh, alright. I think we can end off today's stream here. I think it was a pretty good art progress we made. I think we should rename the art project to like Mermaid Witch or Mer-Witch. Mermaid Witch. That'd be fucking cool. Mermaid Wizard. I mean, witches. Girls can be wizards too, and guys can be witches too. Yep. Yep. So like Mermaid Wizard, since this is gonna be like a wizardy kind of thing. It's gonna be Mermaid Wizard. Anyway, but yeah, I'm pretty much gonna be ending off today's stream here. My name is 𝙂𝙚𝙣𝙚. I'm a variety streamer. I stream lots of video games, chat, and as well as I draw art. And hopefully I'll be doing 3D modeling for everyone here. And that being said, I'm probably gonna be like, I don't know, maybe I'm gonna be making some dinner real quick before bed. But yeah, I pretty much love, pretty much am happy with the progress we made so far. And can't wait to continue with the next art stream tomorrow. That being said, I gotta get going now, Blitzies. Bye bye, matinee.